Hello guys, let's take a look at Texas Math and Science Coaches Association's Middle School Number Sense Test. This is test number 6 from year 2008 and 2009. So the first question over here is 11 times 87. I would like you all to think of this as 10 times 87 plus 1 times 87. So 10 times 87 is 870, and then you have to add 87 to it, so that's 957. 85% to be expressed as fraction, which is nothing but 85 over 100, but this can be simplified because 85 can be written as 17 times 5 and 100 can be written as 20 times 5. 5 cancel, so the answer is 17 over 20. This Roman number is to be expressed as an Arabic number. So look at C over here. C means 100, and because X is on the left side, so this becomes 90 and this is 99. 23 square simply is 529. I would expect you all to memorize the squares for numbers 1 to 30. 912 minus 389. So think of this as 912 minus 400. So that will give you 512. And then we add back the 11, which is the difference between 400 and 389. So 512 plus 11 will give us 523. 12.63 plus 1.17 minus 8.3. So let's add the first two numbers. 12 plus 1 is 13. 0.63 plus 0.17 is 0.8, so that's 13.8 minus 8.3. So 13.8 minus 8 is 5.8, and then we have to subtract 0.3 from it. That will give us 5.5. This fraction, we need to add these two fractions and then express it in mixed number form. So one easy way to do that is we cross multiply. So 7 times 5 is 35, 8 times 3 is 24, and add them. 35 plus 24 is 59, and in the denominator we simply have the product of 8 and 5, so that's 40. So this is improper fraction and this needs to be converted into mixed number. So when we divide 59 by 40, we get 1, and the remainder is 19, and then 19 over 40. So that's the answer. What is 48 times 50? I would like you to think of this as 48 times 100 divided by 2. So 48 divided by 2 is 24. 24 times 100 is nothing but 2400. So that's the answer. 5 times 1998. Again, I would like you to think of this as 5 times 2000. 5 times 2000. And actually, let me write this way. 5 times 2000 minus 2, because that's what 1998 is. So 5 times 2000 is 10,000, and 5 times minus 2 is minus 10. So basically it is 9,990. So number 10 is they're expecting an approximate answer. So over here I'll approximate this as 98,000. This is 8,000. So 98,000 plus 8,000 is 106,000, and this is about 700. So I will write 106,700 as the answer. 50 and a half times 34. Think of this as 101 over 2 times 34. So this can be cancelled as 17. 17 times 101. Again, think of this as 17 times 100 plus 17 times 1. So that's going to give you 17. 17 as the answer. What's the least common multiple of 36 and 44? I know that 4 is a common factor that I can take. So from 36 and 44. So when I take 4 as common factor, what I get for 36 is 9. And then for 44, I get 11. So when I multiply 4 times 9, that's 36. 36 times 11 is 360 plus 36. So this will give us 396 as the answer. So what's the mode of all these numbers? Mode is the most frequently occurring number. So let's take a look at it. It looks like there are 3 3s and there are two ones, and the rest of the numbers appear to occur only once. So the mode is clearly 3. 2 by 3 expressed as percentage. This you should know. This is 66.67%. What is 202 times 23? Again, think of this as 200 plus 2 multiplied by 23, right? So 23 times 200 is 4600, and 23 times 2 is 46. So the answer is 46, 46. Okay. So the next question is 8.37 into 10 to the power minus 7. So this is clearly 0.0. So this will have 6 zeros. 4, 5, 6, 8, 3, 7. 2 square feet expressed in inch square. Well, think of this as a rectangle which has 2 feet as the length and 1 feet or 1 foot as the width. So 2 feet can be expressed as 24 inches and 1 foot can be expressed as 12 inches. So this is essentially 24 times 12. So 24 times 10 is 240 and 24 times 2 is 48. So this is nothing but 288 inch square. What is 19 times 43? Think of this as 20 minus 1 times 43, right? So this is nothing but 860 minus 43. So that will be 870. Which is smaller, minus 10 over 13 or minus 7 by 8? One easy way to do that is, again, you cross multiply and then compare the numerators. So the first one numerator is minus 80, and for the second one the numerator is 13 times minus 7, which is minus 91. So which one of these is smaller? Clearly minus 91 is smaller because it is farther away from the x-axis on the left side. So the smaller fraction is minus 7 over 8. That would be our answer. So number 20, this is a multiplication question, and the answer just needs to be approximate. So let's take a look at it. I do see that there is a 5 over here and there is a 5 over here. So it looks like we should be able to cancel a few numbers. 2 2/3 can be expressed as 8 over 3. This can be expressed as 24 over 5. And this is times 5. And this is 17 over 4. Right? So this 5 and 5 cancels. And 3 times 4 is 12. And 24 divided by 12 is 2. So this is 8 times 2, which is 16. And we have 16 times 17. Right? So the answer approximately, now clearly what we are doing is an exact answer. But the answer, I think if you know what 16 times 16 is, it is 256. So it has to be more than that. So if you write, let's say 265, we should be pretty close. Okay, so that would be the answer. 39 is 3% of what? So so basically this is nothing but 39 is equal to 3 by 100 of x, and you have to solve for x. So basically if we divide both sides by 3, we get 13 over here, and then we cross multiply. X times 1 is 13 times 100. So our answer is going to be 1300. 2.5 yards minus 48 inches needs to be expressed in feet. So how many feet are there in 1 yard? There are 3 feet. So 2.5 times 3 will be 7.5 feet. 48 inches is nothing but 4 feet. So 7.5 minus 4 is 3.5 feet. Let's take a look at a couple of more questions, and then we will continue in our next video. So minus 13 square. So this is clearly minus 169. If 2 over 6 is equal to 8 over 3x, then x is equal to 1. So in this case, you can clearly cancel 1 and 4, and you can clearly cancel this as 2. So and then cross multiply, x is equal to 8. What is the reciprocal of this? Reciprocal is minus 3 by 2. Question number 26. 7/1/6 multiplied by 5/1/6, and the answer has to be expressed in mixed number format. So whenever the fraction is the same, as in this case, we can see that it is 1/6. One way to do that is you multiply the whole number, which is 7 and 5, so that's 35, plus you multiply the fractions, so 1/6 times 1/6 is 1/36, and then plus 7 plus 5, which is 12, and 12 times 1/6, which is 2. So the answer in this case will be 37 1/36. So there are three steps in this. The first one is you basically multiply the whole number, 7 times 5, which is 35. Then the second step is you multiply the fractions 1/6 times 1/6, so that gave us 1/36. And then you add the whole numbers 7 and 5, that gave you 12, and 12 times one of the fractions, which is 1/6. So 12 times 1/6 is 2, and then I added all three to give us 37 1/36. If 4 apples cost 98 cents, then 2 dozen cost how much? So 2 dozen is nothing but 24, and if 4 apples cost 98 cents, then 24 apples will cost 6 times 98. So 6 times, essentially it is 6 times 98. Again, you can think of this as 6 times 100, which is 600, minus 12, which is 588 cents, which is nothing but $5.88. 27 base 10 expressed as base 6. So essentially in this case, this is 6 to the power 0 and this is 6 to the power 1. So how many 6's are there in the number 27? There are clearly 4 6's, because 6 times 4 is 24. The remainder is 3, and so 6 to the power 0 is 1, so this is 3. So the answer is 43 base 6. The area of a circle with diameter 5. Area of a circle, as we know, is pi r square. If the diameter is 5, that means radius is 2.5. So in this case, this will be nothing but pi times 2.5 square. 2.5 square is 6.25, so the answer will be 6.25 pi. And you can leave it at this. So question number 30, they are expecting an approximate answer for this one. So 5,263 divided by 19. So 5,263, I will approximate this as 5,300, and then divide this by, let's say, 20. 53 divided by 2 is 26.5 times 10. So I will approximate this as 265. Question number 31, 37,327 divided by 4 has a remainder of. So if you think of multiples of 4, I know that 24 is a multiple of 4. So the last two digits that we have are 27. So when we divide this by 4, the remainder is going to be 27 minus 24, that is 3. 19 divided by 2 cube times 5. So this is 19 divided by 2 cube is 8. So 8 times 5, right? So this is nothing but 19 divided by 40, right? So for a second, think of this as 19 divided by 4. So 19 divided by 4 is actually 4.75, and because we have another 0, or we have to divide the answer by 10, so the answer will be 0.475. The union of these two sets has how many elements? So let's see. M is not in this set, A is also not in this set, T and H are also not in this set. So basically this will be a set with 7 elements. What's the sum of 7 by 28 and 11 by 44 minus 5 by 20 plus 1 by 4? Okay, so if you look at this carefully, you will see that this is nothing but 1 over 4. 11 by 44 is also 1 over 4 minus 5 over 20, so this is also 1 over 4. So minus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4, that is 0, and then 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4, that is 2 over 4, which is nothing but 1 over 2. What is the product of 98 and 97? So one way to do this is to think of this as 100 minus 2 times 100 minus 3. So 100 times 100 is 10,000, and then we have to subtract 200 and minus 300 and add 6 to it. So that's 9,506. Tetrahedron has 4 faces. What's the sum of 0.3 recurring plus 0.1 with 6 recurring? So this will be 0.4 with 9 recurring, and I will say that the answer to this one is 0.5. If the area of a square is 49, then the length of the diagonal of the square is how much? So think of this like this. So this is a square with an area of 49, so that means each side is 7. And then they're asking what is the length of the diagonal D over here. So we use the Pythagorean theorem to determine that D square is equal to 7 square plus 7 square. So this is 2 times 7 square. And if you take the square root on both sides, square root of D square, which is nothing but D, that will be 7 square root 2. So that would be the answer over here. 1 gallon has how many ounces? I expect you all to memorize this. It has 128 ounces. What's the sum of 11 square, 12 square, and 13 square? 11 square is 121, 12 square is 144, and 13 square is 169. So approximately how much is this? 120 plus 140, that's 260. 260 plus 100 is 360, and then we have to add another 70. So I'll say it's 430. That's close enough. So what is 4 2/5 times 5? So if we convert 4 2/5 into improper fraction, this will be 22 over 5, and when we multiply it by 5, we get 22. What is 36 divided by 12 over 13? This is the same as 36 multiplied by 13 over 12, right? So what is 36 divided by 12? That's 3. And 3 times, so that's 3. 3 times 13 is nothing but 39. So that's the answer. Okay, let's take a look at a few more questions. Adding 23% of a number to the number is the same as multiplying it by. So basically what we are saying is, let's say the number is x and we are adding 0.23 x to that, right? So that's 23% of x. So that basically becomes 1.23 x. So the answer basically is, in this case, the answer is 1.23. So it's the same as multiplying the number by 1.23. So that's the answer. The area of a right triangle with sides 13, 5, and 12 is. So the right triangle, let's say this is our right triangle. So 5, 12, and 13, right? So these are the 3 sides. So the area of a triangle is half base times height. So this is the base, the 5 side, and the side with the length 5 is the base, and height is 12. So 5 times 12 is 60. And when we divide that by 2, the answer is going to be 38 squared. What is the product of 75 times 84? So whenever you have a number 75, I would like you to do something. I would like you to multiply 300 by 4 times 84. So 75 can be written as 300 divided by 4. So clearly 84 can be divided by 4. So we actually get 21 over here. And 21 times 3 is 63. And then we just add the two zeros. So the answer is 6300. 3 by 7 plus 7 by 3 in mixed number format. So one way to do that is we cross multiply. So we have 3 times 3, which is 9, and 7 times 7, which is 49. So 9 plus 49 is 58, and 58 needs to be divided by the product of 7 and 3, which is 21. So when we divide 58 by 21, we get 2, and the remainder is 16. So this is 2/16 over 21. That's the answer. 25 degrees centigrade to be converted into Fahrenheit. You should know that 9 by 5 C plus 32 is equal to Fahrenheit. So we multiply this by 9 by 5. So 9 by 5 divided 9 by 5 times 25 plus 32. So clearly this will cancel. So 25 divided by 5 is 5. 9 times 5 is 45. 45 plus 32 is 77. What is 128 divided by 9 in the form of a mixed number? So 9 times 1 is 9, and then we have 38. 9 times 4 is 36. 2 is the remainder. 14, 2 over 9. So whenever you have the same number being multiplied that ends with 5, I want you to multiply 5 times 5, and so that product is 25, and then take the first number, in this case this is 7, and multiply that by a number which is 1 more than that. So 7 times 8, so that is 56. So the answer is 5625. So essentially what I did was, once again, step number 1, 5 times 5, 25. And then the second step is 7 times the number that is greater than itself. So which is 8. 7 times 8 is 56. So 5625 is the answer. Question number 50. They're expecting an approximate answer for this one. This is 39,231. So think of this as 400 times 100. So what I've done is I've approximated 392 as 400, and then the remaining I've approximated by times 100. So the square root of 400 is clearly 20, and the square root of 100 is 10. So 20 times 10, the answer is 200. What is 13 times 13 divided by 11? So clearly 13 times 13 is 169, and then when we divide this by 11, what we get is 1. Remainder is 5, 59. So 5 times 55, and the remainder is 4. So 15, 4 over 11 is the answer. What is 1111 square? So whenever you have a square of a number that has all the digits as 1, you simply count the number of 1. So in this case we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer to this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go back. So we write 3, 2, 1. That's the answer. If x squared is equal to 13 and x is less than 0, then what's the value of x? So clearly the When we take the square root of x square equal to 13 on both sides, we get x is equal to either square root 13 or minus square root 13. So because the value of x is less than 0, so we will select x equal to minus square root of 13 as the answer. What is 8 square plus 16 square? So 8 square is 64, and then 16 square is 256. So when you add these two numbers, what we get is 320 as the answer. The sum of the complement and supplement of 37-degree angles. So what's the complement of 37 degrees? That is 90 minus 37. So that is 53. And what is the supplement of 37? That is 180 minus 37. So that is 143. So when you add these two numbers, you get 196 as the answer. So the next question is, the slope of the line 2x equal to 3y plus 6. So clearly this is not in a standard form. The standard form of a line is y is equal to mx plus b. So one thing that I will do is I will divide the equation by 3. So this way I get y is equal to 2/3 of x, and then when 6 divided by 3, which is 2, moves on the other side, that's minus 2. But I don't care about that at this point. I'm interested in the coefficient of x. So y is equal to 2/3 of x minus 2. So the coefficient of x is 2/3, so the slope in this case will be equal to 2 by 3. The product of least common multiple and greatest common factor of 18 and 22. So the least common multiple of 18 and 22, let's find that. LCM is going to be, so what's the greatest common factor between 18 and 22? That's clearly 2, and what's remaining inside is 9 and 11. So when I take the product of this, 18 times 11, which is equal to 198. So that's the least common multiple. The greatest common factor for 18 and 22 is 2. So what is 198 times 2? That is equal to 396. Question 58, 3.7 square minus 1.7 square. So one way to do this is to use the formula a square minus b square is equal to a minus b times a plus b. So I will write 3.7 minus 1.7 times 3.7 plus 1.7. So 3.7 minus 1.7 is 2, and 3.7 plus 1.7 is 5.4. So 2 times 5.4 is clearly 10.8. What is the square root of 614 in the form of a mixed number? So this is nothing but 25 over 4. And when you take the square root of this, you get 5 over 2. And in mixed format, this is nothing but 2 1 over 2. The next question is 142,857 times 38. And they are expecting an approximate answer for this one. One way to do this is to approximate this number as 140,000 and approximate 38 as 40. So what is 14 times 4? That is 56. And now let's count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to add 5 zeros to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So our answer is going to be 5.6 million. Okay. If a is not equal to 0 and a cubed divided by a squared times a to the power x is a to the power 7, then what's the value of x? So clearly on the left side, what we have is a cubed divided by a squared, which is nothing but a. And a times a to the power x, a times a to the power x is nothing but a to the power x plus 1. Because when bases are same, we add the powers, right? We add the powers. So a times a to the power x plus 1. So on the left side, we have a to the power x plus 1, and on the right side, we have a to the power 7. So the bases are same. That means x plus 1 is equal to 7. So this implies x is equal to 6. What is the product of 419 times 101? So this is nothing but 419 times 100 plus 419, right? So this is 419 times 100, which is nothing but 41900, and then we have to add 419 to it. So imagine 419 being added at the bottom. So what we get over here is 42319 is the answer. Question number 63, what is 22 times 23 plus 18 times 23? So as you can see over here, 23 is common over here, and inside the parentheses we get 22 plus 18. So 22 plus 18 is 40, and then you have 40 times 23, right? So 23 times 2 is 46, 46 times 2 is 92, and then so the answer is going to be 920. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at question number 64. In this case, we have to multiply 2x plus 7 with x minus 2. Right, so 2x times x is 2x squared. 7 times x is 7x, and minus 2 times 2x is minus 4x. So 7x minus 4x is 3x, and 7 times minus 2 is minus 14. So that's the answer. Question 65, 3,367 times 54. 3,367 actually can be written as 10,101 divided by 3 times 54. So 54 divided by 3 is 18. So essentially we are multiplying 18 with 10,101. So 18 times 10,000 is 180,000. And 100, so this is basically 180,000 plus 18 is multiplied with 101, so that is 1818. So the answer to this question will be 181818. The point minus 2 comma 3 is reflected across y-axis to point h comma k, then h plus k is equal to 1. So think of this as over here. So this is our x and y axis. Minus 2 comma 3 will be somewhere over here. Minus 2 comma 3. So when it is reflected across y-axis, it's gonna be somewhere over here. So the distance between y-axis and this point will still be 2, and on the y-axis this number will still be 3. So this will be 2 comma 3. So that's our h. 2 is our h and 3 is our k. So h plus k is clearly 5. So question 67, 55 base b is equal to 40, and then we have to find the value of b. So let's say the value of b is 6. So in that case, 6 times 5 is 30, and then 1 times 5 is 5. So 30 plus 5 is 35, which is not equal to 40. So I'll go with the next higher number. Let's say base b is equal to 7. In that case, 7 times 5 is 35, and 1 times 5 is 5. So 35 plus 5 is 40. So the answer is b is equal to 7. What is the product of 995 and 998? One way to do this is to think of this as 1000 minus 5 multiplied with 1000 minus 2. So 1000 times 1000 is 1000000. So there's 6 zeros. So this is 1 million. And then you have to subtract 5,000 and 2,000 from it, which is minus 7,000. And then you have to add 10 to it, right? So 1 million minus 7,000 plus 10. So that is 993,010. That would be the answer. 69. The simple interest on $400 at 7% interest for 6 months is how many dollars? So the formula for this is principal times time in years times the rate of interest divided by 100, right? So it's basically the product of 400 and 7 divided by 100. So that is 28 times 6 months over 12 months. So that's half. So 28 times half, the answer is going to be $14. Question number 70. 5 by 7 multiplied with 248 multiplied with 7. I do see a 7 over here and a 7 over here. So 7 will be cancelled. So the way we do this is convert 5 by 7 into an improper fraction. So that will be 19 over 7. And when 19 over 7 is multiplied with this 7, we just get 19. So this is essentially 19 multiplied by 248. So we can think of this as 20 minus 1 times 248, right? So what is 248 times 20? That is 4,960. But then we have to subtract about 250 from it, right? So 4,960 minus 200 will be 4,760. So the answer is close to 4,700. So if you just write 4,700 as the answer, that should be good enough. Question 71. The odds of rolling a sum of 8 on a pair of dice is. So how many ways can we get a sum equal to 8 on a pair of dice? So if we have 2 and 6, that's one way. The other way is 6 on the first one and 2 on the second one. The other way is 3 and 5, so 3 on the first dice and 5 on the second one. Or we can have 5 on the first one and 3 on the second one. And then the last way is we get 4 on both of these dice. So there are 5 ways how we can get a sum equal to 8. So the probability of getting 2 on the first dice is 1 over 6. The probability of getting 6 on the second dice is also 1 over 6. So the probability is 1 over 36 for this pair, and similarly it is 1 over 36 for each of the other 4 pairs. So the probability of getting 8 is equal to 5 over 36. The probability of not getting 8 will be equal to 1 minus 5 over 36. So that's equal to 31 over 36. So whenever we have in the question odds, the word odds, we need to find out chances for versus chances against. So in this case, what are the chances for getting sum equal to 8? We have the probability of getting 8 as 5 over 36. 5 over 36. And then chances against getting 8, that means probability of not getting 8 is 31 over 36. So those are the odds of rolling a sum of 8 on a pair of dice. 5 is to 36 or 5 by 36 is to 31 over 36. So if we multiply each of these fractions by 36, what we get is 5 is to 31. And we can write this as 5 over 31. So the answer to this question number 71 will be 5 over 31. 72, the number of positive proper fractions in lowest terms with denominator 14. So what we are saying over here is, okay, so we have 1 over 14. We cannot have 2 over 14 because we can cancel 2 and 14 as 1 over 7. So the next will be 3 over 14, 5 over 14. We cannot have 6 over 14 because 6 is even and 14 is also even, and we can further reduce that. 7 over 14 is also not included because that's 1 over 2. 8 over 14 is excluded, and then the next one is 9 over 14, and then we have 11 over 14 and 13 over 14. So let's see how many positive proper fractions we have in lowest terms with denominator 14. So looks like we have 6. So that would be the answer. Question 73. 110 feet per second is equal to how many miles per hour? What I would like you to remember is that 88 feet per second is equal to 60 miles per hour. So what will be 110 feet per second in miles per hour? So that will be 60 divided by 88 times 110. So 11 times 8, 11 times 10, 2 times 4, 2 times 5, 15, 15 times 5 is 70, 75. The largest of the three consecutive even integers whose sum is 30. So we know that 30 plus 30 plus 30 is 90. So the consecutive even integers whose sum is 90 can be 28, 30, and 32. So the largest of the three consecutive will be 32. The area of the square with diagonal 12. So imagine a square with the diagonal equal to 12. And they're asking what's the area of this square, right? So that means essentially x square plus x square is equal to 12 square, which is 144. So 2x square is equal to 144. That means x square is equal to 72. But the area of this square is x times x, which is x squared. So the answer in this case will be 72. So what's the product of a b to the power 4 c cube, the entire thing squared, times a cube b times c? So let's take a look at the a terms. A square times a cube will be equal to a to the power 5, because when bases are same we add the powers. B to the power 4 square is b to the power 8 times b to the power 1, so that means that is b to the power 9. C cube square is c to the power 6 times c to the power 1, so that is c to the power 7. What is 33 base 4 plus 21 base 4? And then the entire thing has to be converted into base 4. So the first we have to convert 33 base 4 into base 10. So this is nothing but 4 times 3, which is 12, plus 3. So the first number is 15. And then the next number, which is 21 base 4, is 8 plus 1, which is equal to 9. So 15 plus 9 is 24. So this needs to be converted into base 4. So essentially we have to do this: 4 to the power 0, 4 to the power 1, and 4 to the power 2. So how many 16 are there in 24? There is clearly 1 16 and the remainder is 8. And then so that there basically we have 2 4s in that 8, and then we have 0 1s. So the answer will be 120. If a is equal to 5 and b is equal to -4 and c is equal to 3, then b minus ac is how much? So b is clearly -4, and minus a times c is 5 times 3, which is 15. So the answer is -1 9. An exterior angle of a regular hexagon measures how many degrees? So they are asking about one exterior angle. Now the sum of all the exterior angles of any polygon is 360 degrees. So therefore one exterior angle of a regular hexagon will be 360 degrees divided by 6, because hexagon has 6 sides. So the answer will be 60 degrees. The surface area of a sphere with diameter 6. And again, this is an approximate answer. So the surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r square. So the radius in this case is 3. So 3 square is 9. 9 times 4 is 36. So this is 36 times pi. The value of pi is 3.14. So if I multiply 36 times 3, that is 108. So this will be slightly over 108. So let's say we write the answer as 110. That should be close enough. So I think that's the end of the test. Again, there are only 10 minutes to finish this test. So you would have to practice a lot and make sure that on an average you take less than 8 seconds per question. On some questions you would definitely take more time, but on others you would be able to save time by using the techniques and tricks that we covered in this test. So good luck. If you have any questions, you have my email below. Please send me an email and we will go from there. All the best. Thank you.